I am a vulnerable black man. My name is Devin Davis, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about the right to cry. That's right, black man. You have the right to cry. Goes without saying, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Be sure to click the like bell for this channel, so that way you can be on top of all the updates, all the videos, all the posts that will be coming on to this series. Come along on this journey. But yeah, today's episode is talking about the right to cry. Yeah. You, black man, have this very simple thing, yet complicated thing, called emotions. Believe it or not. Yeah. Still human. It means you got emotions. And, you know, I got to tell you, when I was a young laddie, probably along with everybody else out there, I was one of the people that were told that you shouldn't cry. Like, it's not tough enough. It's not good enough for you. You know, it's like doesn't matter. Always be tough. Always have that mindset that nothing's going to bother you. Man, ain't but a bunch of hooey, right? Because the thing is, there are tons of things that bother us, you know? Now, granted, crying could also be a good thing too. Like you could be overwhelmed with joy that you have nothing but tears. Like the movie that always gets me, I mean, hands down, always gets me. Pursuit of Happiness. Need I say more? But just in case folks happen to not see that movie, there was a part at the end. Will Smith's coming down the stairs, and he starts crying. Oh man, that does something to me, yo. That really, because you can see all the trauma, all the trials, all the tribulations he's had to go through. Man, it is rough. Like, did I say in the last episode? It is rough, black man. So, yeah, you have times where you cry bad, obviously, and times where you cry for good. For me, I can think of 3 examples where crying was either bad or good. One was when my grandfather passed away. Now, when I was young, I was so heavily fixated on trying to get an award. I mean, when you're young, you think about, you kind of overemphasize the most minuscule thing possible, right? Like you really can overemphasize getting some sort of reward over the things that matter. For me, in this case, unfortunately, it was overemphasizing getting an award over saying bye to my granddad. So my mom and I were running late, and we're getting ready to run late. I actually think we made it there on time. Think about that too. But in my haste to get out the door, I would normally tell my granddad, I love you. Bye bye. But this time, in my haste to get out the door, like I was mentioning, I gave a rather rushed goodbye. And I don't even think I said I love you. Man, I don't even think I said I love you. Now that I think about it. some more. But come to find out, after school, my mom goes to pick me up, and she tells me that he's gone. He's gone. Like, excuse me, man, he's gone. Like, there's nothing I can do. Like, I can't say bye again. I mean, I can say it spiritually, but it doesn't have the same gusto technically. But that was one, yeah. And I held in those tears for like years to come. Like I let it negatively, and I never got a chance. I never gave myself a chance to come out and just say and just forgive myself. Man, we could talk about that later. But forgive yourself. That's one. Two, my baby boy was born. And when I saw him, I had I had told everybody that I was going to be north of the border. And for my fathers out there, you already know what I'm talking about, right? Like, if I'm going to be north of the border, that means I'm going to be above where the baby is going to be coming out, and I still see him or her, and I'm cool, right? And then there's south of the border, and God bless y'all. If y'all do south of the border, good. That's you. You do you. That y'all are dope. I mean, you see everything. You just see everything. And I said I wasn't gonna do that. Somehow, some way, I found myself at the equator. Didn't see enough, but still saw enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, But nonetheless, to get to the point, like where I see him coming out, and I hear him crying, and he's officially welcomed into this new world, and man, I start bawling like, ah, it's okay, baby boy, it's okay, man. That was elation at its highest, you know. And then there was a last one, the last example I'm going to give. When I was laid off, we just had the baby boy, moved into this house, and before that, I was unknowingly dealing with depression. And come to find out, I get into this meeting with my manager, and he tells me that we're gonna go a different direction. We're gonna let you go. I mean, did it make me feel better that there were other people that were let go? Nah, not really. Because I was so fixated on dealing with the issues of my own heart, my own mind, like that sucked. Started crying in front of him. He started crying too, which goes to show me that he didn't want to let me go. But I had fulfilled a lot of the jobs that I had done before then. And he felt it would be best that I would be one of the people that were let go. And so I'm over here thinking like, yo, like, what? God, like, what's up? Like, you said you would never keep me. You would always keep me. You would never forsake me. You said that if you stick with me, if I stuck with you, that I would be fine. So what's happening? What's up? I'm pretty sure there are the stories out there for anybody else. Probably much worse than mine have been. The two examples that I gave. Feeling of regret, feeling scared, feeling not worth living, you know. And it's okay. It's okay to feel those things because I mean, why not feel them? It's a sign of emotional intelligence, in my opinion. Because emotional intelligence consists of 5 things. Remember these now. It's self-perception, self-expression, interpersonal relationships, decision making, and there was a fifth one. There was a fifth one. There was a fifth one. Stress management. Yeah. So naturally, crying needs to fit in those emotionally intelligent aspects. Because with all of those, within those 5 categories, they're all interconnected. And crying, black man, fits that mold, you know? So crying improves these things. So while the world is out there telling us, somewhere, someone in the world has been telling us that no, I mean, maybe it's like historical reflection or something like that, but somewhere out in the world, someone's been telling us, no, never cry, don't cry, never show fear, never show anything. Nah, that's trash. That is trash. I'll say it for anybody else. It is trash to hold in all of these feelings, thinking that we're just gonna be able to bottle them up and throw them into an ocean, a la Bad Boys 2 style, right? Like we're gonna bottle up these emotions and throw them in the ocean. Nah, because crying expresses vulnerability. You gotta express what hurts you. To hold in these things is just does such a disservice to us that we're recklessly trying to squeeze our heart full of just to make it dry. Crying acknowledges pain. Like when a kid would get, I mean, I'm not saying for like the little boo boos, if you want to call them that, because I got a kid now. But like for the ones where they scar their knee, you know, like it lets you know, yo, I am in dire pain. So you got to be able to let that out. It liberates emotional burden where you don't. You, we already deal with so much stuff on a daily basis that sometimes the dam will break. That's just the fact of life. The dam will break. And if we keep on overpouring ourselves, and I don't mean that in like a blessings type of way manner where we're overflowing full of blessings. No, we're overflowing full of garbage, full of hurt, full of turmoil, full of pain. It just does us no good. It did me no good. Like all those years holding in my grandfather's passing away, like holding in the fact that you never got a chance to say goodbye. You never did say I love you. You never did this. It is all your fault. Because that's all it takes for certain emotional things to hit our brain and say, it's all your fault. Just you. Crying communicates feelings. It allows us to communicate the fact that, look, and excuse me for my nose, but it allows us to communicate to others a genuine connection. Just the other day, I was on the phone with one of my mentors, and he was telling me all the stuff he's got going on. And I knew for a fact that he was and has been such a great black man. He's been a great dad. Even in his elderly age, he still does all he possibly can to make sure that his family is doing great. And he's going through it. He's been going through it. And out of nowhere, I started crying. You know? Because I felt like that was the best way for me to convey, like, look, man, I feel your pain. I feel your hurt. I feel the heartache. I feel all that you got going on. And he in turn took in all those same emotions that I was giving, and he responded with the same emotions, allowing him to be like, yo, all right, this is okay. This is a safe space. I can cry in front of my, I would call sons. That's me. In Genesis 43 and 30, it says that Joseph hurried from the room because he was overcome with emotion for his brother. He went into his private room where he broke down and wept. So here's the thing. Joseph had already been sold into slavery by his oldest brothers. But when he met his youngest brother at this particular junction, he couldn't help but to be overcome with emotion. Now, kudos to him for like holding it in and still being able to cry, for the record, because that's what you got to do sometimes. You got to hold it in, but then still release. Because at this particular moment, he had been so overcome with joy and relief and knowing, because it had been 20 years between that he had last seen him. So for him to see someone when he was little bitty baby to grow up and to be this person in front of him now, he was like, he actually made it. What does that mean? Sometimes, maybe all the time, it's okay to be overcome with emotions, but it's what we do with those things afterward is what makes us. When I lost my job, I had been on the hunt for a job for like I stayed on the market for like 5 months. 6 months, sorry. But during that time frame, I needed to express what I was feeling. And it was a cavalcade of emotions. Like it was like one expression after another. It was regret. It was for needing to forgive myself. It was not allowing my own vision to see what God was planning, what He was truly doing in my life. So I wrote a book. I ended up creating a story, crafting it into something that I felt like other people needed to see. But only this time, it was from the perspective of depression itself. And in how it likes to distort reality for you, how it feeds on this disillusionment that you are alone, you are vulnerable, and that you need to never forgive yourself. By the time I got to the end with this character, like I had been putting him through the ringer. We had to find hope. And that hope came from finally resolving the issues with his father. And it came from finally resolving the issues with himself. Because failure to cry has consequences. And when this character cried, he was able to express the fact that he was able to start to get over things. He was starting to feel better about his life. So there's consequences to not crying. One of them is the failure to love yourself. Black man, and I mean, and if you happen to be some other nationality or race or gender, so this applies to you too. I really want to talk to the black man. We need to get over this fact that we can be Superman and that nothing bothers us. Because the reality is, everything bothers us. Not getting paid correctly bothers us. Not spending time with our children bothers us. Not being able to take our wives on vacations or experience the lavish life that we see on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever. That bothers us. All of these things bother us. And it's okay to let it bother you. It's okay. Just as long as you're letting those emotions out. Just as long as we're let it be an outlet for us. Because like I said earlier, it matters with what we do with these emotions. We let them out. We we let them have their time. That's the thing. We let them have their time. And then keep it moving. Look for a better way to improve our purpose. Because along this way of us crying, we start to love our hearts more. We start to feel self soothing. When you have a good cry and you just hug your chest almost, that means you're self soothing. You're allowing your mind, your body, your spirit to say, okay, this is enough. This is enough weight. This hurts too much. Let me figure this out. The second consequence is that we're just existing and not living. See, crying has so much to do with life. Think about when the baby comes out the womb. They start crying because they're experiencing something that's brand new. Like, man, what you're feeling is brand new and it hurts. It's okay to let it hurt. But don't let your mind shift into a way that makes you feel like you're not worthy. Because you are worth it. You hear me, black man? You are worth it. If nobody else says this to you this week, you are worth it, man. You are worth deserving love. You are worth deserving life. You are worth it. God did not put you on this earth to deal with these things alone. He's here with you, guiding you. Like, I have to remind myself that every single day, man. Like, look, Devin, yeah, things are rough. Things are getting heavy. But you're not in this alone. I will constantly stay with you. I told you at the beginning of your time that I will stick. If you stick with me, you will be fine. And I've had several people come to me and say, hey, just keep on remembering that promise that God gave you. Cool. Dope. That's exactly what I needed to hear. So while I'm crying, I'm going to get this out, express myself, express my emotions. All just to get to this, to avoid this last consequence. If we don't cry, depression will surely follow you. Man, it is such a compromising mental disease. It's almost as strong as hate and fear. Is a little bit less, but still in the same level of emotional draining that anybody can experience. And the thing is, depression is such a diabolical disease of the mind and of your heart that it will leech onto your soul to say and constantly like drum into your ear like the constant whispers of it's all your fault, it's all your fault, it's all your fault, it's all your fault. What is my fault? Life's. Life's. Period. End of discussion. Things happen. Cry. Let your feelings out. I guarantee you the pain will start to subside if we cry and let it out. Because crying has an adverse, another side effect to it. I already mentioned one of those side effects, self-soothing. But another side effect is you start to forgive, man. You forgive. Forgive. And that is such a huge thing to overcome. So huge, man. I've had to tell myself, I'm sorry. I forgive you on multiple occasions. Like several decisions I have made. I started a food truck hastily. Should have stayed at a job. I had to forgive myself for that because it was bad timing. It was the right intent. There were certain things, signals that were saying, yeah, this should work. And the fact that I was able to see so many people come up to the window and say, hey, man, this was the best food I've ever had in a while. Yeah. Got 5-star reviews on Google Maps, right? That was dope. But it was bad timing. Should have stayed at the gig for a little bit longer. Took me a while to get over that. Let me know that yeah. Should have forgiven myself. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have ran out the house and not told my granddad goodbye and I love you. Giving him proper time because I know he probably wanted more. Yeah, had to forgive myself for that. Black man, black man, black man, black man. Yeah, I know that relationship isn't working out. They lied, cheated, did you dirty, or you did them dirty. We could talk about that another time. But nonetheless, you gotta forgive yourself, man. Because when we do, you start to feel better about life. You will start to feel better about life. It takes a lot for me to get on this platform and share my experiences like that. But one of the many lessons I've started to learn is that we're all a community and we need each other. Iron sharpens iron. It ain't just cliche. We need each other. That's a promise. We need each other. So whether that's to me in the comments or another personal friend you know, be sure to remind yourself as you're sharing your story, you have the right to cry. You have the right to cry. This brings this episode to a close. I hope to keep on doing these. Yes, they make my life vulnerable and sharing my personal stories, but at the same time have fun. Allows me to live my life and live out a passion of mine. So don't forget to tell your fellow black man, whether they be brother, father, or whatnot, you love them. Give them a hug, cry on the shoulder, be real, and most of all, tell them that I need you. All right, I'll see you down the road. Peace.